MP for Igamba Ngombe.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise up to contribute to this motion and the report of vetting of Cabinet Secretaries, CSs for this country. Mr. Speaker, having gone through the report, I wish to say the following. One, I've looked at the report and seen the objection that those members who sat in the committee had against one Penina Malonza. And Mr. Speaker, having listened to the CS during our presentation to the committee, I think the CS is competent, Mr. Speaker. We can't just be sitting down as Parliament or as a committee and we judge people based on their oratory skills. We can't base the performance of people based on their oratory skills, how well they can talk, how beautiful they can talk, and how fluently they can talk, Mr. Speaker. In this country, Mr. Speaker, we had a president called Mwai Kibaki. He didn't have so good oratory skills, but he is one man who really transformed this country. Mr. Speaker, looking at the cabinet secretaries, I believe the president didn't pick the CSs from people who attended his inauguration party. I'm sure, Mr. Speaker, these are people the president has sat down with. Kenya Kwanza has a manifesto. The manifesto addresses tourism issues. It addresses loans issues. It addresses irrigation. It addresses various issues of this country. Mr. Speaker, I'm sure when the president was picking these people, these are people he sat down with. These are the people he conceived his manifesto with. So when the president picks Honorable Rintuli as a CS for agriculture, I'm sure the president has sat with Rintuli down and is sure Rintuli understands his goal on agriculture well. When the president picked Kithure Kindiki for security, I'm sure the president has sat with Kithure Kindiki down and they have agreed on a way forward for security in this country. So, Mr. Speaker, I wish to say the following. One, looking at somebody like Aisha Juma, I listened to Aisha Juma. I've served in this parliament, last parliament with Aisha Juma. She is a woman I can say who is qualified to hold the position of a CS. And what I would urge this House, Mr. Speaker, is we drop the side shoes and pass on these CSs and approve them, because we went allowed this country, all of us, regardless of our affiliation in politics, regardless of the coalition we belong to. We promised Kenya roads, we promised the Kenyans water, we promised the Kenya good living standards. And it's now almost 60 days since we came to this house. We sat in this house since we were sworn in. It's almost 100 days, Mr. Speaker, and the Kenyans are waiting for service. Mr. Speaker, I urge this house we drop the issue of divisions and approve these CSs. Kenyans are waiting for service. Mr. Speaker, as we talk right now, children are not attending school due to anger. Kenyans are waiting and see what we'll do about that issue. And that issue will not be addressed by Kenya Kwanza or Azimio or any coalition. It will be addressed by us as leaders in this house. So, Mr. Speaker, as we debate the issue of these CSs, I wish that we don't become also a court. I want to congratulate Honorable Rintuli because of being so genuine. When he appeared before the committee, he himself volunteered to say he has 35 civil cases in this country. You didn't even have the list of how many. He would have said that one. He would have said 20. He would have said 18. But in his own genuineness, Honorable Rintuli said that 35 civil issues in this country which will be resolved. So, and this country, we have a constitution that says you are innocent until you are proven guilty. So, Mr. Speaker, I urge this house not to become a court. I urge this house not to become a jury. These people, Rintuli was vying as a governor. Aisha Juma was vying as a governor. Having been approved by all institutions of this country, EACC and everything, they were approved to vie as leaders in this country. If they want today, they would be governors in this country. So let's avoid the side issues and approve these people to become CSs, and we start serving this nation. Finally, Mr. Speaker, I wish to say the following. I think these people who have been nominated coming from the political divide, I've heard Kenyans discussing about the presidential nominees, and they say he nominated politicians and he nominated technocrats and professionals. Why does one cease to be, at what point do you cease to be a technocrat when you are elected? I wish to say that if you are a politician and you happen to be a professional at the same time, it's an added advantage that you are able to deal with the people, that you are professional and you have an added advantage of being able to deal with the people being a politician. So this issue of crucifying people, nominees, and calling them politicians, being elected does not make you cease to be a professional at any particular time. Mr. Speaker, the greatest challenge that we are told the CS for tourism had is that she didn't present herself well, she didn't talk well, she didn't answer questions well. I still cannot get the measure of this well. You know, as politicians, we are used to believing that people who are so good in speaking, people who are so good at all skills, make the best leaders, which I don't believe is true. We are people who can speak too well, but can't change the living standards of even their neighbors. So, Mr. Speaker, I think it's unfair. I think the president nominated these people, having sat down with them. I'm sure these are not people he picked from his inauguration party. These are people he has sat down with. He has sat with the CS for tourism. They have discussed the tourism, and he ensure that she is competent to handle tourism and deliver the Kenya Kwanza manifesto. Mr. Speaker, I wish to urge this House. Let's drop the side issues. Let's stop wasting time for Kenyans. Kenyans are waiting for service. Our term is 5 years. We are already wasting almost half of our term in side issues and competing which side is stronger than the other. And finally, when we go back to Kenyans, Kenyans will not judge me as a member of Kenya Kwanza. The people of Chukegambangombe will not judge me as being a member of parliament who supported the president or as a member of Kenya Kwanza. They will judge me with the kilometers of tarmac that will have been put in their constituency. They will judge me with the irrigation project that will have been instituted in Chukegambangombe. They will judge me with the county headquarters Kadwana today, which is dormant, whether it will be functional by then or not. They will judge me by Chuka General Hospital, a whole county that doesn't have a level 5 hospital since independence, whether we'll have one or not. So these side issues won't add up when it comes to the election next time, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, because I know many people want to contribute to this motion, I beg to submit, Mr. Speaker, and see we approve all the nominees as were presented to this House, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
MP for Mavoko.